Hi everybody, it's Nancy with Nancy's Hooked on Crochet. Glad to see you again. I did purchase a few items as well as I finished a couple of objects. And I still haven't decided when I'm going to start next, so maybe you'll help me out with that. Okay, so what I did was I had gone into AC Moore and they've been having the yarn on sale. First it was 25% off, then it was 30% off. Finally now it's 50% off. And they're making like everything's going. So, but I didn't buy any yarn because I still felt that it was overpriced, so I didn't buy it. But I did pick up this book because the books were 70% off, but when I got to the register, it was 80% off, and the cashier guy said that possibly, I don't know, the yarn could have been more off. I mean, if it was 70% off, maybe it would have been worth it. So maybe I'll go back again before the week is over. It's not too far from where I pick up my grandson from the daycare. So maybe I'll go there first tomorrow before I pick him up. Anyway, so that's all I bought there. It was, $2. It was like $2 plus tax. And I did go to Walmart, and they had a couple of things on clearance because the yarn was missing the wrapping paper. So I got this big Red Hot Super Saver in green, and of course I could look at any Red Hot Super Saver and see like what needle I need. So it was only $2.51, and they're usually $6.50. So, and I didn't have green, so I just dark green. I have a light green. I might want to do something with some green in the future. Maybe something with granny squares or something. And then I bought. I found this Karen Simply Soft. It was missing the paper, and it was $1.27. So it was a deal. It was the only deals I could find this week. I actually found out that there is a yarn, like wool type store. I think it's called Raging Wool. And I stopped in there today. I didn't take any pictures or take any video. I just looked around. It was wool, expensive wool. And so when I'm ready to make something really fancy, I know where to get the yarn. And they also have classes there. And I talked to the lady, and she was from Germany, and she was sitting there knitting socks. And I was asking her, like, about the classes, and that I tried learning how to knit online and wasn't successful. And maybe I would attempt to do knitting classes, but first she said they were Wednesday and Saturday. She didn't tell me if they cost any money. She made like I should go to the website. So I went to the website, and it said Tuesday, which Tuesday isn't good for me in the afternoon. So I don't know if that's going to work out. I might have to give online learning of knitting another chance. I'm not dying to knit, but I thought maybe if it was reasonable, I would give it an attempt. But anyway, I didn't do it. So I've been making a few things by, tutorial. And I've been visiting the secret yarnery. So I decided to make this scarf. I'll show you. And it's really Queen Anne's lace, but she called it some kind of shell type. So here, let me show you how it starts off like this, with this little round circle. And then you, I don't know, bake these shells or lace. And then you just go as long, she said to use the whole skein, but my skein, I would have kept going and it would have been too long. So this is a lilac color. So I'm giving this to somebody in my church tomorrow. So I wanted to show it to you today. But it's not that heavy, and where this lady lives most of the time is hot. So I figured, and she wears things around her neck. So I figured maybe she would like it. Anyway, so you could wrap it around your neck because I made it long enough. I could, if you were somewhere cold. I think it's pretty, yeah. I'll show you how long it is without the wrapping. So, whoop, you can't really see. Oh, you can't tell. I can't get far enough away. Well, it doesn't go as far as my knees, but I made it long enough. I'm sure it's more than 60 inches. I think she's taller than I am. Anyway, I need to find a new spot to film, you know? So I like how it turned out. And it was really easy. I started it Sunday night, and, oh, was it Sunday? I think, yeah, I think it was Sunday. And yeah, no, I started Saturday night. And then Sunday, I worked on it throughout the day, like a little bit at a time. And before you know it, I felt it was long enough, so I stopped. So that was the last thing I made. But I made a blanket also from the Secret Yarnery. And it was some kind of spiral blanket. I will put the links in. But I've actually seen a tutorial from Fiber Spider on the same exact scarf. Some lady, when I posted it in a group, she told me she made a blanket out of this. So I don't know whether you make strips and then you sew them together, you know, put them together like granny squares, but only in strips. That was interesting, but I'm not that in love with putting things together. I only made one granny square blanket and I haven't made another one. I like being done with the blanket. So this was, I had this black light yarn that I had gotten on clearance a while back. Let's see. So you start in the middle. It's about 36 inches square. You start in the middle and somehow you have two rows going at the same time. You have the colored row, like let's say you could have two different colors. So the one with the multicolor, which actually if I had a black light it would light up. And then you have the white, so you could only go so far. So you kind of start here, and then when you get to a certain point, then you start the white. And then you have to stop, and then you have to keep going. And it was really like, you know, it's really good for beginners because it's not any kind of fancy stitch. She gets you started. Once you get you started, it's, you know, easy to keep going. And you just keep going until you get the size you like. But it does come out like almost a perfect square. Except for when you're ending. See, it ends kind of like this. So you have, you know, the end is a little wonky. It's not perfect, but I really like it. But my daughter-in-law says it makes her dizzy. I think it looks more girly. So I'll either save it for a gift or if they have a girl next time because they're talking babies eventually. But I really liked it. The baby did see it and he started saying, Blanky, Blanky. I don't know. But it's all like neon colors. But I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And I made that other fluffy blanket. It's good to try something new. I like trying new things. So I don't have a lot to talk about, except for did I mention that I went to a yarn store today. There's one near my house. I had no idea it was there. Somebody did tell me about it, but for some reason I thought it was much further away. I thought it was like 30 minutes away, but it was only like 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, which is like nothing. And so I stopped there just to look around. I said hello to the lady, and she was sitting there like knitting socks and everything. And she was from Germany, and she does everything. So she does classes, and you know, so they teach people how to knit, crochet, and all kind of crochet, and some kind of weaving and stuff like that. And I saw pictures online, and she had all kind of fancy yarn. And I'm just not ready to make that kind of commitment, you know. You know, they have the hanks, and she probably would wind it up for you. Because right now I haven't purchased a winder because I never bought one of those hank type yarns, like the good ones. And then she had even like a whole load of samples for people if they wanted her to make them a shawl, let's say. Like she had shawls laying, like she had stuff, made stuff all over. So I guess she'll make it for someone. She said, I don't sell those. Like those are samples. And I hung out there a little while, then I went to the gym because I had a date with the trainer. I've been going still to the Planet Fitness, and you know, I had a class at 12 o'clock. So it was 5 of us. We did stretching. It was good. And that's the story. That's what I did so far. I talk so fast, like I'm running out of what to talk about. So I haven't decided what to make yet. I did every so often I'll start something and I don't like how it's looking right away and I'll just stop and I'll just say, I don't want to do that. So I'm sure I'll pick out something soon. Actually, I do have some hats I think I made. I don't think I showed you. So 1 second. I don't want to pause it again. I might end up starting over like I did before. Okay. Well, I made a hat and I try to make it child size. I had this leftover yarn from my son's friend. I had made a baby blanket for their child, and then she's getting bigger now. So I thought maybe I would send them this hat. Her birthday's coming up soon, and maybe they could save it for next winter. I mean, he's just a friend. So, and so this was yarn I had gotten at AC Moore, and then I didn't have enough, and I added some Karen Simply Soft, the same yarn as that scarf that I just showed you, and it's real soft, the whole thing. And I can't remember what this was. I mean, it's the Divine Hat, but it's the yarn I picked up at AC Moore a long time ago. So, and you know where they're going. They're leaving town. Trying to see if there's anything else in here that I just made. I don't know. Well, not really. I showed you the other stuff. So I know there was a different hat, but I can't find it. So that's all I've been doing. You know, I don't know. Maybe it's about a week since I visited and showed you the last things I did. And so I'm sure I'll start up something soon. You know, I don't feel good when I don't have anything on my hook. I tend to do one thing at a time and get it done. I'm still like occasionally I'll have 2 or 3 things. Like I'll start 2 or 3 things, but I kind of stick one thing out, finish it. So I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet. Maybe tonight I'll get something rolling, you know. But I enjoyed seeing that the yarn store was nearby, and I'm disappointed that the knitting classes were like a bad day. I'm not sure I really want to knit, but I figured maybe if somebody showed me in person, I'd pick it up, you know. And that's the story. Just should get my yarn more organized because after a while I start to forget what I have because it's all like smashed and like buried in drawers and in 2 closets, you know. And she had a lot of yarn. Everything she had, really the real fancy ones that come in the cakes. I saw that somebody showed me it came in a little box. She had that. That was like 35 bucks for one. And I never used like fingering weight yarn. And she actually had a virus shawl there that she must have used a really thin yarn because there was so many more repeats. Like, you know, when I used the number 3 yarn, and I've used mandala a few times. You could tell she used a much thinner yarn than that. And I've never worked with anything thinner than like shawl on a ball from mandala. So that's about as thin as I've gone. And that's it. I did actually try a tutorial with the Tunisian like beginner, and it doesn't look too bad. I might try again. I made a mistake and I ripped the whole thing out. So meanwhile, any suggestions of anything I should try? I'm open to suggestions. Well, I'd like to thank everybody again who have subscribed and whoever returns is faithful. I really, really appreciate it. I did get an email saying I had 1,000 watch hours. So I think you need 2,000, but I don't have enough people subscribed, so but I'm getting the hours little by little. Um, Whatever, I don't really care. I mean, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to get to whatever the amount is you need to have some little income, but it's not the end of the world. Just enjoy. What's more important is I enjoy crocheting and producing things. And that's what I really enjoy, and I enjoy sharing it with you. You inspire me, and I inspire you. So that's all. My husband went to the gym, and I figured it was a good time to whip up a video because tomorrow the scarf is going to a new home, and I hope she likes it. Well, I can't think of anything else to talk about. I really didn't think there was that many crocheters in Florida, but obviously there are, because I saw a lot of people looking at yarn when I was in the AC Moore. Usually I go there and there's no one even shopping, and I'm all by myself or one other person, but there was quite a few people looking, and that's all. I'll give it one more shot. Maybe it'll go down to 70-80% off. Well, the yarn could be all, a lot of the yarn went, all the stuff that was, let's say, like under $3. A lot of that stuff disappeared off the shelf because it was 50% off. But all the big stuff that was $10, a lot of that was still sitting there. And that's about it. So it's good to see you again. And I hope you enjoyed my finished items. And I will link the tutorials down below. But like I said, I saw 2 different tutorials on the scarf. So it's kind of more decorative. I guess if I went with a really thin yarn, it'd be really just decorative. This has a little weight to it, but it's very soft. So, okay, good seeing you again. I'm gonna run. Okay, all right. Well, have a good night. All right.